Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two blended Scotch whiskeys, both at 80 proof, 40% alcohol. This is Buchanan's Buchanan's Deluxe, sorry. Buchanan's Deluxe. It's hard to see it with the glare. I was trying to make a good thumbnail, and I couldn't get that to come out. This white, cream-colored label makes it hard to see. Blended Scotch whiskey, aged 12 years. The Deluxe blend is crafted to the highest quality for a vibrant character imbued with passion and commitment, and guaranteed by James Buchanan. Well, really guaranteed by Diageo, the owners now. Distilled, blended, and bottled in Scotland. And it's got like this little thing that's supposed to look like a wax seal, but it's not. It's plastic. Buchanan, Scotland. It's got a shield with a lion. The back is embossed and it has the same shield with like the Buchanan's insignia. Introduced in 1884. This is their flagship. Now they have also a Buchanan's Master, which I intend to buy next, and a Buchanan's 18-year age. And then the top of the line is the Buchanan's Red Cap, which is over $150. Here is Ballantines Finest blended Scotch whiskey. I did a Monday taste challenge yesterday, Monday, and it was a tie with King Robert II from Ian MacLeod. King Robert II was no better or worse than Ballantines and vice versa, but the win went to King Robert by virtue of price. It's a little cheaper, about $4 cheaper per bottle. So they tasted about the same. The quality level was the same, but you had to give the advantage to Ian MacLeod on price. Now, price here. Buchanan's is about $30 a bottle. I don't know how much the handle is, so let's check. We want to go unit to unit. You know, we want to compare the right size to the right size. I like Total Wine's website, but it's a slow upload. It's real slow to upload. It's frustrating. And once you get it uploaded, it works great, but it's not the best. Okay. And you can put reviews on there. They don't edit it in the sense that they only allow good reviews. Whatever you say about the product, they'll let it stay, unless it's unreasonable. You know, they give you guidelines. Don't just say something like, "Oh, I love it," or "It's filth." You know, you have to give an intelligent assessment. Well, now they have a gift pack right now for $29.99. You get 2 glasses and the bottle. It's nice. It's a good price for that Ultra Max. I want to get the Ultra. I thought the Ultra Max was the same as the old Michelob Ultra Amber, but it's not. This one is made with agave, so I gotta find it. Okay, so Buchanan's 12-year is 28. Oh, the $67, $66.99. The 18-year is $89.99, but I found it for $74.99. True story. The Master is $38.99. That's a good price, about the same as Walmart. Buchanan's Red Seal 21-year-old is $149.99. I said it was over $150. I was wrong. It's $149.99, $150. Wow. Wowza. All right. So $27.99 versus $69.99. So the Buchanan's is $40, $43 more expensive, $42 more expensive, sorry, $42 more. Is it going to be $42 better? We're talking about per handle. These big bottles are called handle. That, and if you're talking about 750s, 750 milliliters, you're what they used to call them, a fifth. You're talking $15.99 versus $29.99, so $14 bottle better. Is it going to be $14 better? That's pushing it, but then it's sort of unfair. Now, is the Ballantine's 12-year going to be just as good as Buchanan's 12-year? I don't know. I cannot find Ballantine's 12-year. I've not seen it anywhere. I was looking for it Saturday, and I didn't see it. So I have to deal with what I've got. I've got the no age statement Ballantine's Finest versus Buchanan's 12-year age. But it's comparable in a way because they're both their flagship brands. They're entry level brands. The entry level Ballantine's is this one, the Finest. The entry level Buchanan's, the cheapest one you're going to get, is the 12, and it has a built-in guard. When you tip it over, it may not flow at first. There's a little ball. It's got to start flowing, and then once you get lower in the bottle, it'll come out. They put that in there to keep people in Latin America from, because apparently it's very popular in Latin America, Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, Costa Rica, and whatnot. And you might find this hard to believe, but they have some problems with corruption down there. It sounds incredible, doesn't it? But and some of these liquor stores will drain the good liquor out of a bourbon or a scotch, and they'll put in a cheap substitute and sell it as their top product. But this built-in gadget, you can only pour out. You can't pour in. It will not accept any liquid into it. They invented it for that. And the only way to get it is to destroy the cap top. So it makes it very difficult or impossible to do that. Okay, so appearance here. Well, they're both golden, but the Dewar's, haha. The Ballantines a tad bit lighter. And when I say a tad bit, I mean just the slightest shade lighter. So I wouldn't have to worry about glancing at it and being tipped off. Some of these, one whiskey will be pale like straw, and the other one will be almost like tan, like wood almost. So if you glance, you say, well, that's it. So you want to do a true blind taste test where you don't know which is which. Now I watch a lot of videos, and the most of the taste tests people do is beer. Most of the taste tests are beer, and they but they're not blind taste tests. It'll just be, oh, here I'm pouring this narwhal, and here I'm pouring the I don't know, the old Rasputin, and I'm going to tell you which one. But that's going to taint your challenge because you know which is which. So there could be some, what they call in the world of psychology, an unconscious bias. In other words, you could be biased and not even realize it. But the blind taste test wipes that out because you don't know which is which. Maxwell, good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, Maxwell, in Russia. The Russian president is going to teleconference the American president today about this business with Ukraine, and we'll see what happens. It smells like bread, dough, and cereal grain. Now, mainly it just smells like cereal grain. Now, I've said this repeatedly for the last week. Most of these blended Scotch whiskeys smell like the old people's, the elderly person's cereal at the top shelf. Special K, bran flakes, whatever, stuff that children never want to eat. Yeah, says Maxwell. Yeah, check in, Ron. Good morning, says Jeep and Foodie. Caleb, hey, good morning to you. Thanks for watching. So that's what they They are multigrain. So it makes sense that they smell like a multigrain cereal because they're made up of corn. That's about 80% of the product, and about 20% malted barley. Barley whiskey, single malt whiskey, barley whiskey. Are they allowed to add wheat and other grains? Right. They are allowed to. They don't typically do it. Now in Canada or the United States, they do. They'll have the corn base. Then they'll start adding single malt barley, or what in the United States is called barley whiskey, malt whiskey, and they'll add wheat and rye, or a combination of the three, or just one of the three, or two of the three. You get the picture. However they want to construct the product. Good morning, Ron, says John and Nile. Hello, John and Nile. Hope you can make it to beers for the holidays, but I know when people are busy at work and whatnot, it's hard to do it. Hard to do it. All right. Now over here, it's basically the same, but it's milder. In other words, it's not as sharp and strong of a multigrain cereal. So one has a strong aroma, bold, if you want to call it bold. Some might say harsh, but it depends how you want to frame it. And this one is mild. Framing means a lot because it changes your perception of it. I saw a woman trying to get this child, 2-year-old, to eat lunch one time. They're related to me, but she was saying, "You're going to eat it. You're going to eat it," like a command. Of course, he was saying, "I'm not hungry. I can't eat it." Of course, 20 minutes later, he'd be begging for a piece of pie because claiming he was starving. They don't use any kind of reasoning when they're that little. He might have been 3 years old, but I think he was 2, not quite 3. So her attitude, the way she framed it was, this is a command and you're doing it. And it was like this big power struggle. Buchanan's Deluxe is great blended Scotch. I rather enjoyed my bottle. I will certainly try to join your show tomorrow. I have a good holiday beer on standby. That's good. Panaming says, good morning, Ron. Good morning to you. So I was trying to watch I didn't care if he ate lunch or not, to tell you the truth, but I was trying to watch a football game and he kept all the screaming and hollering. We couldn't hear the game. It was aggravating. So I said, I know how I'm going to get this settled. So I got up and I told him, I said, I bet you can't. I said, hey, I said his name. He's old. He's a grown up now, in his 20s. But I said, I bet you can't handle hot sauce because you're little. Little kids can't handle hot sauce. He says, yeah, I bet you I could. I'm big. I said, you're not big. You're only 2, and little kids can't handle hot sauce. I had Crystal. Crystal's so mild, you could drink it. It's not hot. They call it hot sauce, but it really is more like mild sauce. Kind of like Tabasco. It's more like mild sauce. But his grandmother, well, okay, it was his grandmother. She was saying, it was actually his great grandmother. She was saying, don't tell him that. You can't give him hot sauce. And I was like, don't get involved. I'm trying to tell her to stop, So I put the Crystal hot sauce on his food. I said, you can't eat that because you're too little. He says, yeah, I bet you I could. So he starts eating it to prove to me that he could handle hot sauce. And he was like, Mama, I like this stuff. Mama, I like it. And then she was saying to me, that's going to make him sick later. His stomach's going to be burning. I said, no, not with Crystal hot sauce. And so that's how, and then he ate all the food. So it's how you frame it. You see, it's how you frame it. How you present it. Really looking forward to your Johnny Walker Black Label review in the future. Also, I would love to see some other mid-range bourbon reviews. Yes, they're all planned out. I got Jim Beam Black Label. But mine is the 8-year age that John Anile did with someone else. Can't remember who. I think it was the Whiskey Scout. They did a duo review. I found the 8-year, and I can find more of it. Found it, and I can get more. And a whole handle bottle. Now today it's called Jim Beam Extra Age Black Label. They don't give an age statement anymore. But it used to be they called Jim Beam 8-year age. And I found a bottle, $32, $32.99. Handle. Big one, the big boy bottle. It's got an actual handle on it. And I can get more of it if I want to. Well, I just don't want to. I don't need it. But if you go to that particular store, they've got the 8 year and then the new bottles right next to it. So it's just like they got old leftover bottles and they got the new. They don't ever get rid of anything over there. They're going to keep it till it sells. So you can go get some Ron Rico rum and they got 3 different labels of it. They got the current label, like a 10-year-old label that's so out of date, and then like a 20-year-old label so out of date. It's a comical place. And it's really been fixed up. So that store is like so modernized. It used to look so old and run down. I don't mean it was trashy or anything like that, dirty or anything. It just was old. That store had probably had not been updated in 35 years. So, you know, it was just not the best looking, but they had incredible things in there. It's an amazing store. The whiskey Scott was like mind boggled in there. You know, he's like mind boggled. But we went in January when it was still renovating it, so it's kind of like look like a construction site in some ways. Now I'm having Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon, 45% alcohol. It's a really good product. Oh yeah, I like Buffalo Trace. I had it once, but I've only had it once, but I liked it. Okay, time to taste. But now if you go to the international market, what I'm talking about, oh wow, it's so modernized, and they kind of compacted their liquor section and make it more, not smaller. They didn't really shrink it. It's just more organized, and it made it smaller because it was not so spread out and everything. But boy, you can get some stuff there that just blow your mind. You just won't believe it. And we've got other stores like that. There's probably others like that that I'm not aware of. You see what I'm saying? I know of 3 or 4 in Louisiana that are incredible like that, but there's probably many more that I haven't discovered yet. You see. Yeah, the stuff I'm tasting right here, it's just like, as people would say, on the regular. You know what I'm saying? It's just like kind of bitey cereal grain, kind of burny, tastes like it's hot. I don't think it's more than 3 years old. They don't give an age statement, but if it's more than 3 or 4 years old, I'd be shocked. Do I like it? Well, I guess I like it. I think most people buying it for cocktails. And if you get on the Ballantine website, they say Ballontine's fine. The first thing they talk about is cocktails. They're like grabbing your head and saying, look over here, cocktails. In other words, they don't really want you tasting it straight because that's not what it's made for. Does Buchanan's Deluxe talk about cocktails? Oh, yeah, it does. Even with the 18-year age, even with the red cap. All liquor companies do that. I don't care how expensive it is. They're going to talk about cocktails. But like Johnny Walker Blue Label, when you get on their website, they're going to emphasize sipping it. They're going to say, well, it's great sipping at room temperature over or ice if you want to, but you know, they're not really focusing on cocktails. They're not going to say, oh, pay $250 for this exquisite scotch and then mix it with soda water and lime and make a highball. I mean, it's like, well, you could do that with something cheap and mask the flavor, you know. Travis Tubbs says thumbs up. Thanks, Travis. All right, over here. People often ask me about cocktails. I really have no comment because I don't make cocktails. I've never drunk a cocktail in my life except sipping from somebody else's. Oh, I did try an old fashioned once at Yale College Inn. This guy that was a famous bartender there. I said, make me an old fashioned. Now, what whiskey did he use? Probably a cheap one. I didn't pay attention. It was probably something like Heaven Hill Quality House Kentucky blended whiskey, you know, something like that. But it was very nice. I wouldn't drink them. I just don't drink stuff like that. If I'm going to drink a cocktail, it's going to be one of those pre-mixed canned cocktails. You know, you get in the can or the bottle. And I don't really like them. They're okay. They're well made. I have no issue with them. I don't think they're low quality. It's just, I just don't drink that kind of stuff. Okay. Oh, there's rich smoke here. All right, so what do we know about Buchanan's? They're pretty clearly using Isla Scotch as their single malt. It's so smoky. You say, what Isla or Islay as it looks when you read it? More than likely Kalila. Kalila is like or Kalila 12 year. Kalila is the Diageo Isla smoky Scotch. It's mighty fine. So it's peaty smoke. Now, John and Neely say he wasn't really familiar with the smoky whiskeys. Well, you had this and Ardbeg 10. So just think Ardbeg 10 is like this, but it's so much smokier because it's not cut with any grain whiskey, you see. So people might find this a little too much. Now, can you pick up the grain alcohol in here? You can pick it up. Get that cereal grain, you know, the kind of burny thing. You can get it, but it's all aged 12 years, you see. So remember, the youngest whiskey in here is 12 years old. That's what an age statement means. They're giving you the age of the youngest whiskey. Now, they could all be 12, but some of these, the youngest will be, they'll have a 12 mixed with 18 or 30 years. That's why they don't give an age statement on Johnnie Walker Blue Label. Because they said they don't, they don't give an age statement on any Johnnie Walker Scotch. It just came out with an age statement, Johnnie Walker, in the past few months. But they said they never did it. Because Johnnie Walker Blue Label is blended with some whiskeys that are over 50 years old. From over 60 years old, actually. But maybe some of the base whiskey, the grain whiskeys, might only be 3 years old. But they're not going to sell Johnnie Walker Blue Label for $250 and call it a 3-year-old whiskey. So could a 3-year-old whiskey technically be much older than 3 years old in the blend? It could be. You could have 20-year-old whiskeys blended in. But you can't call it that. You got to go with the lowest number, which is, in Scotland, the lowest allowed is 3 years. In the United States, there is no age statement requirement. There is no aging requirement for even bourbon. You say, you're wrong. Got you there, expert. This is what a smart aleck person might say. I got you there, expert. Bourbon has to be aged at least 2 years. Wrongo. Bingo, you're wrong. That's straight bourbon. I said bourbon. Bourbon can be aged a year. You could age it 6 months. Call it bourbon. Now, I don't know who's going to buy it because it'll be so pale, or it might be so pale, but honestly, it might suck up a lot of that charcoal from it has to be a new charred oak barrel. Now there's no exception to that. It has to be a never before used charred oak barrel. But the aging is not required. Man, look, I can show you $30 bottles of bourbon that's not straight bourbon. And it got no age anywhere on it. And there was one said this bourbon, what did it say? This bourbon is at least a year old. I said, oh, golly, how nice, a whole year. So you see, you got to know the rules before you talk about the game. Okay. Is the Buchanan's 12-year clearly better? Most certainly better. It's smoky, it's rich, it's peaty. Is it a perfect product? It's not perfect. Is it a wonderful product? It's wonderful. Oh, yeah. If this is so good, I can't wait to try I did try the master once at my friend David's house, and we liked it. Was it way better? Not really, and there's no age statement on that. The 18-year, I bet that is a delightful little number. Last comments. So anyway, I'm going to call it, this is obviously the Buchanan's 12. It is better. Now, is it $14 better? You have to decide. You have to decide. I'm not sure about that. I mean, that's $14 for one bottle. That's a big difference. So It's your call. You decide. I'm not sure. I don't know what to say. But it's clearly better. There's no argument. It's just better. Um, does Diageo make better Scotch than most people? They seem to make better Scotch than most people, from what I've encountered, because they love that smokiness. Now, some people don't like that, so they might gravitate towards Chivas Brothers or somebody else. But I like the smokiness, so that's a personal preference issue. So if you get the Johnny Walker Red label, you're gonna get the smokiness, and that's only a 3-year age. If you get the Buchanan's 12-year, like I'm doing right now, the Deluxe, you're gonna get that smokiness. If you get the blue label, you're gonna get the smoking. See a pattern. J&B, Just Arini and Brooks, made with over 42 Scotch. I think it is 42 exactly Scotches. You're gonna get the smokiness. So you see the pattern, you get it. Okay, last comments. How do Ronald Reagan? No, I'm not Ronald Reagan. I never voted for Ronald Reagan because I wasn't old enough to vote when he ran for office. I remember recently in one of your videos, says Panaming, you said that Kentucky Tavern is the most bang for your buck bourbon. It is, because you can get a whole liter for $8.99, and it's aged 3 years. It's Kentucky bourbon whiskey. Is it great? It's not great, but for $8.99, it's great. Regarding Scotch, which one you think is the most cost effective? Around here, easily 100 Pipers. That's your bargain. That's your diamond in the rough. 100 Piper Scotch, invented by Chivas. Invented. I guess you don't invent a Scotch. You develop it. Developed by Chivas Brothers. They're a master distiller named what was his name? John Bailey. I know his last name was Bailey. Bailey, Bailee. A different way of spelling it. Bailey. In 1965. It's only aged 3 years. I mean, it's basic, but it's good. I don't know why they came out with that product. I guess they decided, hey, well, let's make a like a cheap Scotch, but that's good. Like nothing great, but it's cheap and people will buy it and it'll be successful. And it is. It's one of the top selling Scotch whiskeys in India. India, not here, but you can find it. Mathern's has it. Well, everybody has it. Rouse's, Mathern's, every liquor store in Louisiana got 100 Pipers. I don't know about convenience stores, but every, major, Winn-Dixie and everybody. $8.99 a bottle. You can't beat it. You're not going to beat it. You won't. It's impossible. And you'll never beat the price I got it for. I got a 750 milliliter. I got 750 milliliters of 100 Pipers for, guess the price, anyone, $3.98. I'm telling the truth. $3.98. I know you're jealous. And no, it did not stay on the shelf. You know how fast those bottles went. Faster than you could say Jack Sprat could eat no fat, and his wife could eat no lean, but betwixt the two of them, they licked the platter clean, and it was gone in a flash. John and Noy says, I've had a few smoky whiskeys, most of them single malt Scotch, but the blended Scotch whiskeys are smoky too. Some of them are, yeah. Ballantines, forget it, no smoke. Nope. He does prefer bourbon, though. John Neely said he prefers bourbon. Okay. Now, I prefer Scotch, but we could still be friends, I guess. Most cheapest blended smoky peated Scotch I ever had was Teachers and Isle of Skye 8-year-old, both blended and cheap, under $20 here in Taiwan. The Republic of China. I see Teachers pretty commonly, and I would like to get it, but I keep going sideways, like I just keep going, oh, another mainline Scotch, and it just keeps going, and it can keep going like that for 20 years. I would like to start climbing, like to get a better one. I went to Johnny Walker Blue, which is going to the top, but you know what I'm saying? I'd like to try the Buchanan's Master. I'd like to try Johnny Walker Black. I'd like to try this and that and other thing. There is a whiskey bar near me, says Travis. I should go give a shot a try. I'm more of a beer drinker. Also, I'm distracted by the boxes next to you. Have to ask, are those comic book boxes? Yes. Yeah. I started collecting comic books in really in 1974. I started buying them. In other words, my mother started buying them, and she bought me because I remember we were at a department store, and I said, "Oh, I'd like to buy this." I saw it. I didn't know anything about the Fantastic Four. It was Fantastic Four Giant Size #6, and she bought it for me. It was 50 cents, which in today's money would be, a lot. I mean, $3 or $4. So, but she shelled it out, $3 or $4 for a comic book. She was like, but it was a 100-page giant. That's what I call giant size. Might have been 80-page. Yeah, 80-page. But I couldn't even read. I couldn't read or write. Barely write my name. I was only a little 6-year-old. I was learning to read, but I just remember looking through it, and I could kind of follow the story by just looking at the pictures, and I thought it was fascinating. I was like, wow. And then my father bought me Batman 256 in 1975. Another 80-page giant, and had all these old stories from the 1940s and 50s in the back of it, reprinted. So I love that. And so then I just kept buying them, when I started having allowance and then my own jobs at age 12, I just started buying them, and here we are now. But I stopped buying new ones in 2021. I don't buy new ones anymore. They're garbage now. Comic books is a dead industry, really. But yeah, I got a few thousand. All right. Anyway, so the winner today is the classic Buchanan's 12-year age. Oh, what a wonderful Scotch. Now, what's coming up for Wednesday? I'll tell you what's coming up. Johnny Walker Red Label. Oh, that's going to be a wipeout. Now, Johnny Walker Red Label is only aged 3 years, and it only costs $1 more or $2 more than Ballantine. Ballantines is $15.99, and I know where to find Johnny Walker Red Label for $17.99. It's a little bit low. Most stores don't have it that cheap, $17.99, but I know where to buy it for $17.99. Not a sales price. That's just a regular price. Is it $2 better? It's way more than $2 better. Believe me, you can save time and effort. Don't watch, because you're going to see a wipeout. Johnny Walker Red Label is going to kill Ballantines. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a joke, a pathetic joke. But hey. Oh, wait, you know what? Never mind that. Scratch that. That's going to be Thursday. Wednesday is going to be J&B, Just Iranian Brooks, J&B Scotch, introduced in 1934. They're going to still kill it. J&B is going to kill Valentine's. That's about $20 a bottle, $4 more. But it's way better than $4 more. Oh, yeah, I'm a comic book collector, laughing out loud. Sorry, I had to ask. That's all right. I love talking about comic books. All right, so get ready for some blowouts. Save time and effort. Don't even watch. Thanks.